In the year 1513, a Turkish naval officer gave the world something incredible. It was a map, compiled from his years of experience as a navigator, as well as countless Arab, Indian, and Portuguese maps from the outskirts of the known world. At the time, it was groundbreaking, unlike any other work of its era, to the point where still now it remains a mystery. No one knows how it was created. As far as history is concerned, it simply should not exist. This is the story of the Piri Reis map, and of the modern quest to explain it. Like everything great, the map was discovered by a man called Gustav. In 1929, he was at work cataloguing documents from an old Turkish palace. Among the endless boring charts and records, he came across something unique: the map of Piri Reis. Amazingly, the map showed more about the world's continents than was at the time known. It even depicted Antarctica, but Antarctica was discovered 3 centuries after the map was drawn. And that's just one of many unexplainable details on the map. It shows much of the South American coast and Caribbean islands. On top of depicting Antarctica centuries before its discovery, it shows Antarctica as the underlying landmass. The coastline is roughly accurate to how it was before being covered in ice, but that was 6,000 years ago. It would be hasty to assume Piri Reis was 6,000 years old, but many believe he drew this knowledge from ancient Greek maps, which themselves were of unknown origin. Some claim it is evidence of a long-forgotten seafaring civilization, like Atlantis. Piri Reis claims to have based the work on 20 source maps, some of which going back to the time of Alexander the Great. So while it might seem pretty incredible, it is not inconceivable he tapped into secret ancient knowledge, especially since we do not know what those source maps were. Piri Reis himself was a mysterious figure. Beginning his career as a pirate, he travelled widely, and was rumoured to have collected all kinds of strange artifacts. Later joining the Ottoman Navy, he was made commander of Ottoman forces in the Indian Ocean. No admiral was more respected than him, but in 1553 he fled from a battle against the Portuguese, and accused of doing so to protect his collection of treasures. Charged with dereliction of duty, Reis was executed shortly after. Perhaps if he had lived longer, we would now know how he created his famous map. After his death, much of his collection was taken to Istanbul to be locked away, and so the map of Piri Reis was just forgotten about, not being seen again until 1929. On the map there is an inscription left by Piri Reis, in which he mentions that one of the source maps was created by Christopher Columbus. This would suggest he did draw knowledge from pre-existing maps, so it seems there really is a logical explanation. What's more, only one fragment of the map survived, and the full work was much larger. It may even have depicted the entire coast of Africa, and far-off oriental lands like Japan. If such ancient maps did exist, you could believe they were under Ottoman control. When Ottoman forces seized Istanbul, they became successor to the Byzantine Empire, which itself was successor to Rome. It is entirely possible mysterious maps were passed down this line of succession. But the Piri Reis map is far from perfect, depicting multiple phantom islands. Phantom islands are not dead islands who now haunt the ocean. They are islands that once appeared on maps, but later proven to not exist. Some phantom islands were featured on maps for hundreds of years, and genuinely believed to be real places. One of those depicted on the Piri Reis map was Antillia. Also known as the Island of Seven Cities, it emerged as a legend during the Islamic invasion of Spain. In fear of living under Muslim rule, 7 bishops gathered their supporters and fled Spain by ship. Sailing west, they found a small rectangular-shaped island, where each bishop established their own settlement. The bishops then burnt their ships, preventing any return to Europe, and so their descendants have since been living in isolation, unaware their homeland was reconquered by Christians. In those days, significant stock was held in rumour, with the island accepted as real for a long time. For centuries, explorers tried and failed to find Antillia, adding to the mystique surrounding it. When explorers finally reached the New World, many believed one of the islands there was Antillia. Candidates included Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Trinidad, all of which were proven to not be, but the islands of the Caribbean came to be collectively known as the Antilles. It's even possible belief in Antillia evolved into the legend of the 7 cities of gold, but that is just speculation. It was only a matter of time before people stopped believing in the island, but during the life of Piri Reis that time had not yet passed, and so it remains just one more mystery of the Piri Reis map. So that's the end of this video. If you want more content from me, follow me on TikTok or Instagram,